Okay, previously we have covered the while loop, which is the pre-test loop, and have shown you how to use a while loop to validate your inputs. Okay, so now we are moving into counters. I've also shown you counters earlier, how you use counter to to increment your increment the loop for the uh, a value, sorry, it's a variable that increments with the loops iteration. Okay, so basically the definition of counter is a variable that is incremented or decremented each time a loop repeats, and you can use this to control execution of the loop. So this is called loop control variable. For the earlier example, the number here is the loop control variable, and it must be initialized before entering the loop. So we have initialized this earlier 0, and then this is the testing expression, number below than 5 with number initialized to 0. So this condition is true, then only this statement can be made. Okay, so there are three things that I want you to realize here. First, in any loop or any repetition, we always have this counter which act to uh, uh, which will be incremented as the loop iterated. Okay, so as the looping happens, so the number, the counter, in whatever name you call it, in this case we call number, has to be initialized to a certain value, usually 0. If you start from 0, you can start from 3 or some or any other numbers, as long as it's below than the testing condition. Okay, so this is initialization, and then you have the stopping criteria, so or the continuing criteria. So in this case, while number is smaller than 5, true, this is to continue, then do this. If this is false, then it will stop. Okay, that's one criteria. And also the increment value, counter increment. So this is number plus plus. You need to have this here. If not, you, this loop will be infinite loop. So this is called loop control variable. You can use any name for it. Some people use counter, some use count, and so on. Okay, so in this example, program 5 to 5.6, they define min number and max number here. You can see here. Okay, and then they ask number to be squared while number is smaller than max number. See out num. So they initialize the num into as min number, the counter, which this num is the counter. Okay, and now if this is the continuing criterion. So if num below than 5, or below than or equal to the max number, then see out num and do the square, so you get this. Okay, so then you increment the counter. So remember three things: initialization, continuing criteria, and also the increment. Okay, so when you use counter, so let's look at do while loop. So do while loop is a post test loop. So while loop is actually a while do loop, which is a pre-test loop. So how do you change this into a do while loop? So this is how do while looks like. It's a post test loop. We execute the loop once first, and then only test the expression. So do the statement or block in or end block in here, and then only followed by the while, which is testing the expression. And you need this semicolon. This my cursor. The semicolon here. This is very required. Okay, so this is the general flowchart. So you have a statement, you do the statement first, and then only you check the expression. If the expression true, then you will keep doing the statement and come back to the expression. If it's true, you will do it again. If it's false, then you move to the next the next instruction, or the next statement, the next line in your code. Okay, so let's look at changing this into do while. Okay, so now it's simple. Just copy and cut this here and put your semicolon there and add on do that. Right, so let's look at this. So now, right, so I'm done. Okay, so if let's say I would like to increase this into 10. Okay, so it will come 10. So let's say I want to initialize this to a 7. Okay, then it will give me only 3. Okay, so that's how you play around with your counter. So this is do while loop. Okay, this is another example of do while loop, and do while loop is very helpful in for your assignment, in which you can use it as a menu. Yeah, it stick somewhere. Okay, so you can have some statements going on here, just like this. Okay, enter 3 scores and I will arrange them for you. See in score 3 scores, and then you will calculate the average, and then see out the average, and then you ask whether the user wants to continue or not. If yes, then you will the do statement will be execute again. If no, it will terminate. Okay, so let's try. Alright, I have amend the code now to do this simple calculation of averaging 3 numbers. So the program will keep asking the user to whether they want to calculate the average or not. As long as they answer yes, that will just calculate the number. So you see, I am taking 3 inputs, so I have 3 variables, num1, num2, and num3, and I have a counter that is called count, go to 0, and I have a character continue, cont, and a float for average. So enter 3 numbers, then I use the 3 variables, and I use the average to store the average value, where I will see out it. And when I want to ask the user, do you want to calculate again, yes or no, I use the character. So if they put in y or n, then I'll capture it into cont, and while cont is equal to y, capital Y, or small letter y, it will continue doing the do. Okay, but at first it will just run the do statement without having to test anything, and once the do statement is done, then only will start, the first do statement is done, then only will start test the expression. Okay, so once the expression is true, and it will keep repeating the do statement. If the expression is false, we'll just continue to the next statement, which is I'm done. So let's look at this. Right, so we have compiled this, and we are going to run this. So enter 3 numbers. You can just use a backspace or even anything. 70, let's try 70, 50. Okay, so the average is 40. Do you want to calculate again? So just put E, enter 3 numbers, 90, enter 10, enter 50. So the average is 50. You want to calculate again? No. Then you go to it will come out from 2. Okay, so you can use this part here, the do part, as your menu, and you can loop your menu here actually. So it's up to you when you do your assignments. Depends on your own creativity. So let me make screen equal again. So this is example. So the do while loop code. So remember, it's a post test. So it will do the do statement first, then only it will check the expression. If it's true, then it will repeat the do statement. If it's not, then it will just take the next statement below the code. Okay, and this is useful for menu driven programs to bring user back to menu to make another choice. So you can see some programs on page 276 or 277. Right, the next one would be for loop. So I'll see you in the next video for the for loop.